cables. Anyway, so let's start over. Welcome everyone. Welcome to season 3, episode 2 of Chromatic Wednesdays. That's Apartment Project. This season our theme is solidarity, and this evening we have 3 films, 3 short films from a collective who was based in East Ukraine, from Mariupol. The collective is called, or the Stina movement as they have described themselves, is called the Freefilmers. And we have one of its founders with us this evening, Iryna Berezneva, who will be joining us for a Q&A following the films. But before we start, one of the members of the collective and also the director of the 3 films, Sasha, and I don't want to... Protyah, has a message for us, and so we will begin by watching that. That will be followed by the 3 films, and then the Q&A with Iryna. So enjoy the screening, and see you after.
I'm Sasha Protyah, a filmmaker from NGO Freefilmers, and you're gonna watch our films tonight. And I would like to record a brief message to tell about who we are, where we are from, things like that. Yes, just like to help Ira to share our messages with you. Well, we started as an NGO in Mariupol, a city which is now destroyed and occupied by the Russians. And we started as an NGO because we weren't happy with the cultural agenda and filmmaking opportunities for independent directors. And so yes, and after that we became more politically engaged because we found out lots of other things about the world, the economics, politics, situation in other cities in Ukraine, other countries. So to some extent, we just drifted from, let's say, aesthetics to politics. And and now our city is destroyed, and all of us managed to flee, and we are based in relatively safe places now. Well, I'm in Zaporizhia, another city in the east, and other members, they are in other cities in Ukraine and also other countries, like Ira, she's in Berlin. And yeah, but we are still working together, and we are doing new projects and trying to cooperate with our new friends, new partners. And well, our principles, they've always been something like intersectional feminism, with strong belief that problems, that struggle against patriarchy, capitalism, racism, gender discrimination, that it should work together, like that we should be together in order to change the world for the better. Yeah, and despite the fact that we gradually became some sort of institution, with all this legal status, but we've always had lots of connection with underground, with underground artists, anarchist activists, and people who are really outside just any system. And that's why we should listen to them carefully, because they can see lots of important things that we can't, just because we are already part, like to some extent, of course. Yeah. Yes, and after the invasion, we've turned, from a collective of filmmakers, artists, designers, researchers, we've turned into some kind of humanitarian cooperative, mostly focusing on humanitarian aid issues. So, like, basically now we just screen our films all over the world. Yes, with the latest solidarity screenings, they just took place in Mexico City, in Romania, and the next ones after your screening in Berlin will take place in Riga, Latvia, and Bratislava. So basically we just screen our movies, and if it's possible, we just raise funds, and then we just use these resources to bring aid to the communities in the east of Ukraine and the south as well. So what we do as a humanitarian cooperative, of course, we help marginalized communities a lot. Not only our wider community, all the people we have ever cooperated in different films projects, their families. Well, it's a very, very big community, just with more than several hundred people. But we help, and most of us, we just come from Mariupol and other eastern Ukrainian cities. We also help Roma communities. I'm in constant touch with Roma NGOs that help Roma families who just had to flee from the Russians from the south of Zaporizhia Oblast and Kherson Oblast. We help neurodivergent people. Yes, we just help queer activists from other Ukrainian cities. And we also help a lot to women from the rural areas, because normally their circumstances are especially difficult, because in many cases their husbands and sons, they have joined the army, and they have to look after their kids and elderlies in the new places of residence, and it's very difficult for them to look for any professional opportunities. They just have to stay at home looking after their families and just trying to trying to cope with the grim reality of losing their homes and being, basically in just new places without knowing like what to do. So we just help them as well. So then, another very, very important direction in our activity is just supporting our fighters. We just bring a lot of first aid devices and medical stuff. Yeah, I just know that it sounds quite controversial for Germany with your traditions of pacifism, but in our case, we can't be, in our case, pacifism would be escapism, because if our soldiers die, then all the communities, all the internally displaced people, they're becoming even more vulnerable, and you can expect even more deaths of civilians. So that's why, we definitely have to help our army. And in our team, we just focus on bringing first aid devices and other types of medical stuff to paramedics and frontline doctors. And another important direction in our work is just combining, creating some type of professional activities, and at the same time, creating conditions when people can do something for their communities and other people in Ukraine. Okay, I'll just explain briefly. Yeah, for example, we've supported a workshop which produced tens of portable ovens, very, very sturdy and reliable ovens that we distributed among Roma communities and people in the deoccupied villages. Many of those people, they just have to live through the winter without electricity and in very, very extreme conditions. So then also we've supported, we are still supporting 2 workshops which produce power banks and more powerful portable electric stations using lots of, second-hand parts from Europe, and they just build very, very good, reliable devices that we also distribute among people in the deoccupied territories. Again, because many of these villages still don't have access to electricity. Of course, those communities, they just need proper access to internet and to be able to recharge their flashlights. Well, so this is just another direction. Yeah, and we've also launched a workshop which produces energy bars using both local ingredients from Ukrainian gardens, from Ukrainian farmers, and also ingredients that our friends and supporters sent from, for example, Slovakia. Yes, and this workshop produces these energy bars, and they're also very, very functional for people who just have to do complicated tasks daily in extreme conditions, like the front line, or for example, volunteer drivers who just have to make difficult and dangerous journeys through the deoccupied territories. So this is briefly about what we have been doing for the past year, and well, I really hope that we will have other opportunities to meet up, to exchange our experience, political experience, cultural experience. Yes, but for now I'm here, and our most important tasks they have to be done also in Ukraine, specifically in East Ukraine, and we really thank you for your support, your solidarity, your just your invitation to screen our films. Well, so thanks. This is just my message. It's been a bit lengthy, but I just wanted to say, all the important things about us. So thanks a lot. Yes, cheers from Zaporizhia.
Іноді ми не розуміємо інших, тому що складно, тому що чогось боїмося. Що? Перепитуємо один одного. Навряд чи можна всіх зрозуміти повністю.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are here with Iryna Berezneva, who is one of the founders of the Freefilmers collective, Cine Movement, or NGO also. Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your films with us. I couldn't help but think when watching especially the first two films, looking at the space, looking at the people, looking at the life, which was in these spaces, how, it's been a year, I think, the 24th of February since the full-scale invasion on Mariupol started. And a year ahead now, 80% of the city is destroyed, and more than 80% of the city has been destroyed. And just a couple of weeks ago, Turkey and Syria were also hit by a major earthquake which destroyed cities. And obviously, this is not a direct comparison. An earthquake is a natural disaster, but the death toll at the moment being over 45,000, we can say that a lot of the death and the destruction has been caused by the lack of adherence to security codes, considering that this region was part of a fault line. So I've been already for the past few weeks been thinking about the lives that once were in these cities, in these spaces. And I guess the first thing I want to ask you is how you, and I know activists don't really like talking about their feelings and they're more, action people, but I'd still like to ask you how you feel when you watch this now a year on, and how are you?
Sorry. It's pretty hard to watch these films because for me I feel a big difference between how we do all together the first two movie and how the second movie created when I in that time was in Berlin. In first part of this today's story was some kind of privilege for us that we can think about meaning, about renovation, discovering past, planet, want to change our lives, make world around and space around us better, discovering and feel life more rich, more full. And the second movie show us only one meaning: we need to survive, and that's all. For sure, I see these movies many times, especially first. And right now I feel it totally different. It's like pain that always with you, because I see the part of my city, the part of my life that will be never with me again. It's my personal feelings, of course.
And I mean, Sasha at the beginning gave us a great kind of summary of your activities at the moment or since you've been, I guess, evacuated or had to flee the city. I was also wondering kind of how your production model, your working relationships has transformed since you've all, I guess, been separated from one another. And also, he spoke quite a bit about your one-on-one kind of involvement with the people and the region and the help and activism kind of surrounding your collective. But how has your, I guess, relationship with the camera, with filmmaking, with the image also shifted in the past year? Maybe you can give us a brief summary of that also.
I will try. For sure, our activities changes, because if before we're thinking only about art, right now we're thinking more about helping this huge Freefilmers community. And I want to say that the small part of this community, and the Sasha Protyah is an amazing person who could organize huge networking and help that people whom cannot find help in other places, because the Ukrainian in general are people who are always ready to help, to support, and our volunteer power is powerful. Sorry for my English. But Sashko, but always some small groups or persons who far from centralized help. And Sashko is trying to help and to connect these people. I want to say it, Sophie. Can I say? Right now in this space, Sophie that from Berlin, who helps a lot of, makes huge work for supporting Ukraine, like physically. Thank you so much. And for example, for my feeling, Sophie is much more important helper in Freefilmers than me. We try to keep our professional relationship, but you know, for Freefilmers, it's not only about working relationship. We like some kind of community and family, and it's the first months of this horrible time. We support each other so much. We always keep in touch where, who needs what, who needs who. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, shooting, in which city shooting, are you alive, are okay, what destroyed, what not. And right now, I don't know, did you feel that the first movie, the voice of Sashko is positive, like happy, like more full of lights, and the last movie, it's totally different emotional feeling in voice. I think this voice changes could be like analogy of relationship with camera. It's the same. Right now you fix it how it happens because you need to fix as much as possible because next generation must to know how it was. You know that right now Russians try to destroy not only infrastructure objects, they try to destroy our culture. You know, I don't know, maybe you hear about this, that Russians destroyed our museums, archives, libraries, and it's not like by accident. They try to destroy every documentary facts about their aggressive activities. So right now, I think camera must fix it as much as it possible.
You said something, I think, really key there, something about, you know, to make it disappear, to erase these, and the camera is so is there to witness and to document and actually to propagate, you know, narratives of the people. And I think in all three films, we see the people. I mean, you talk, you know, even in the third film, my favorite job, you know, we have the people providing information about possible, you know, policies that could have been followed, strategies that could have been followed. You don't have, even in the two first films, also this kind of, you don't talk to officials, you talk to really to the people, and the aesthetics also, I think, of the first two films. You know, you have Sasha, who is, you know, in amongst the people, talking to the people, to the crowd, allowing them to kind of reflect on their relationship with the spaces and to hope and to dream of how to transform those spaces. So, and I mean, you are, I guess now, I would say more political, but you've always been a political collective. So can you maybe talk about when you were making the films, how your choice of aesthetics, was this a conscious choice to have, you know, Sasha in the film, talking to the people, having this voiceover? How does your political opinions or positioning impact your aesthetic choices, your themes, and so forth?
It's a little bit hard questions for me because I'm not so deep in art process. It's the first point. And the second point, that our organization don't have like officially position of organization. We need to have some kind of similar feelings of world and principles, and maybe that's all. But we don't need to be all in same political position. So it's for sure before war we was more anti-military, of course, but right now, exactly right now, it's impossible. And right now, from the start of war, we help militarists a lot too. Of course, we didn't buy weapons, but we buy medicine, special medicine. We buy this special connection devices because it's really expensive and you need it a lot, really a lot. And it's one of important meanings that sometimes huge funds can give to militaries a lot of stuff, but some really far from military points don't get it. So we try to help small military points around the city, in the zero line and all this stuff. So, like that.
Just maybe also to outside of these activities, and to talk again about maybe the films, both the two first ones and the third one. How do you kind of, I guess, like would you position them in light of, first of all, like the news coverage of the war? So there's, we're all kind of, I guess, exposed to, what's the Western media or whatever you want to call it, independent media, how they cover the news. And then there's all this also content coming from social media, right? Like people witnessing, people subjects of this war. So how would you kind of, I guess, position your films in the context of all the media and information and audiovisual information that we've been we've been subject to of the past year?
I guess Freefilmers try to don't give personal opinion in any visual or sound products that we make. I think we try only to show how it is, and when you watch, you can make your opinion. I think like that. About social media, if I understand correct questions, I cannot say that we right now make a lot social media works, because we just don't have for these resources and times.
But do you follow, for example, accounts of people who are in Ukraine and what they're...
Yes, it's your usually routine. It's your every morning routine. Yeah. You checked in generally, I don't know how it happens, but in generally we like have few official news resources and then a lot of Telegram channels. It was time when Telegram channel was one resource when you can find any information about Mariupol, because someone who have like point on city with the connection posted some information about in this district destroyed everything, in this district war activity, and only by this channel you can guess that maybe your family is still alive or not. So yeah, right now, personally, me try to limitize it and use only official resources. But in the first few months, it was like few hours you scrolling because you need to understand where is what happens.
And have any of that kind of information coming from the witnesses of the war been incorporated, or are you planning on incorporating it in any kind of new projects or films that you plan? Because in the last film, for example, Anya's camera footage has been used, right? So I would assume, Sasha had, the dialogue with her and took this footage and incorporated in the images that he was shooting of them. And we can maybe also talk about the video game images. But in terms of, possible upcoming projects in relation to the war, is the content on social media interesting for you?
Yeah, right now, Sasha finished the second movie about war. It calls 100% Sale, about period when people in Mariupol murdering everything, because sometimes it was necessary to survive. We have this year project. It calls Me Mariupol site, a website about Mariupol memories. And I guess we will have few projects for next year. I know that it will be, but it's right now in the launch process, so that I can not describe it.
Maybe I'll turn to the audience here for a bit and see if there's any questions from anyone in relation to maybe the collective, their current work, their previous work, and the films that we've watched. Yeah, please.
How big is this collective? Hello, I'm Dave from Berlin. How big is your collective? Can you describe how it came to be and what it did, and just like briefly, like a flyover up to from the beginning to now?
At first, it was 3 persons who founded NGO, because in Ukraine you need 3 persons to found NGO. Then right now we like 2 persons. The collective who works like a regular team, 10-15 people. and it's like some kind of SEO. I cannot say SEO because we don't have this vertical structure, but some kind of people who always in connection and always planning strategy and all of this stuff, like 8 people, I guess, yeah. But it depends about what. In some process I don't take part. In some process other person don't take part. But and I guess the most important decision 5%. But networking more than hundreds.
Other questions?
Since I have the mic, what was your mode of operation before the war? So we saw 2 films that were made before the war. I assume there are many more, right? So people running around with cameras, interviewing people in the street, editing something together through a theme, you know, just to practice.
It's not only movie. We make a lot of projects to support different type of arts. Before war, last year, we make comics book. Zine book, we helped to produce some sound from underground people. We took part like partners with other Mariupol activity, NGOs and different education projects. So it's not only about moving. But for sure, the creating movie, it's one of the important part of our activities. But one of our members, the second 2 years, organized great online film festival every October. Every October. And in this year, in 2022, we did it again. Yes.
Yeah, we'll provide information at the end regarding the collective's website and further information as to how you can assist them and the type of activities that they're engaging in with despite being displaced. But Iryna, from what I understand, you are the only member of the collective who is in Berlin at the moment.
Yes.
And so I mean,
who's always here.
You were all okay.
I live in Berlin now, but some our members come to Berlin for different reasons and go. Maybe we will see this spring Sashko here.
Yeah, Sasha might come in this spring. Okay.
Yeah, I really hope because I didn't see him more than a year, and today like this big video like.
Yeah, it must have been. You haven't seen him in person, you mean?
Because we have online meeting, of course.
So, I mean, as someone who's been living in Berlin, I guess, then for a while, obviously this is a city for displaced people. I mean, also, there's a lot of people who have come here either willfully or forcefully due to conflict, due to the growth of authoritarian regimes and so forth. So how do you, in the past year, let's say, have you been able to build different type of alliances, solidarity network, also with other people, subjects of war, of activists, trying to kind of have this remote engagement with the front lines and so forth. What has been your experience in that regard?
My experience in Berlin, I can say, in this situation, if I can say like that, it's successful because I meet only really people who understand what happens, who try to support, to help, and helped. In the first time when I was in Berlin, the first organization who meet me and give me a lot of support, and especially emotional support, was Anarak. Thank you that you come today too. Yes. And we try to communicate with all activities that can help and can support. So we took part in any screenshotting, any discussion, any activities. Personally, me works with with my other organization from Mariupol, took part in Monday Kitchen. Mitya today was here. Like it was really interesting activities from the spring till I guess autumn, every Monday, people gathering in some place, cooked some Ukrainian dish, and everyone can come and talk with each other, because not everyone have friends and some support in Berlin. Some people feels here really lonely who moved from Ukraine. I feel me like really privileged refugees, because I moved with my sister, with my daughter, with my pets. I'm pretty fast found apartment. I meet only good people on my way. I didn't have bad experience with sociale, job center, and all of this. And pretty comfortable come here. Other people don't have that successful story. They come much more later. They live before in Mariupol in this horrible few months occupation when no water, no connection, no everything. So if we can, like Freefilmers, if I can, like me, I try to take part in any activities that can connect people, help people, and give more information. Because I feel that my mission is to talk about this war in Berlin as much as possible and answer to any questions, explain any situation, because what can I do more right now?
Maybe I'll turn back to the audience. If there's any questions, yes, there's one. Sophia, right? Sorry, Sophie.
Okay, does it work? Yes, okay, great. Only one addition. Tomorrow there is a meeting from the Solidarity Collectives. They all connected to the Freefilmers and at the Kirchhofstraße 45. So near to this place here, up from, I guess, 6. Will you be there tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I have
okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, but if you are interested in the connecting things and in other groups which are connected to Freefilmers, so the Solidarity Collective is here, and they are also great. They're working with anarchists and a lot of lovely people there. Okay.
Great, thank you. Maybe we can,
Maybe
take a note of it
Instagram?
and add it on.
Can we open Instagram? Then I can show it to everyone.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that. Yeah, and we could also maybe mention it at the end and add it to a post for sure. Or maybe you can provide a website for that.
Maybe one impulse. Maybe you can talk about Vasil and his paintings. Maybe you can also talk about Vasil and his paintings, his great paintings.
Yes. Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, one of the members of Freefilmers create just amazing paints. It's amazing because they full of pain and horrible of that 2 months in Mariupol, when you can see troops, dead people around, when you don't have any connection, you don't have any opportunity to have normal food, normal water, normal life, nothing. And in some magic way, Vasya paint all this situation on pictures, and it's like so powerful. I didn't see yet these pictures like in real, only in photos by my screen, but even in this in this view, it's like you feel it's really powerful, yeah. And we planned to bring these pictures to Mariupol to organize to Mariupol, to the Berlin, and to organize here exhibition.
So along with the screenings, you also have in your collective not only filmmakers, but you actually have
music
different
makers, visual artists, 3D design artists, and right now we support a lot of teenagers from Mariupol, because when it was occupied, when the Russians was in Mariupol, they move a lot of families to Russia without permission. And some people want to stay and some people don't want to stay, and there was a lot of teenagers who was forced to move to Russia, and then in different ways that we cannot discuss right now, they back to Ukraine. And of course this teenagers don't have anything, and we try to give him like laptop, some techniques, all the stuff too, and support them in different education. For example, one of teenager want to start study 3D design, and we like organize courses for her. Yeah.
I know you said at the beginning that now since the war has started, we can't really think about art, and we're more focused on providing aid, and because of the urgency of the situation, and kind of establishing these different networks in order to move forward. But art can also be a very important and central part of this kind of resistance and activism and so forth. And I noticed that in your films, especially the first one, there were quite a bit of musicians and music, and this kind of relationship that musicians were establishing with the space around them. So it was really the space that was inspiring them to do their work. And just recently I was at a panel and someone was talking about exile studies, and I know like exile has very different meanings, and can represent very different situations also. But one of the quotes this person brought forward was that the exilic condition kind of kills creativity because it separates the person from the spaces and the places that inspire them. So when you were talking earlier about, like Sasha, you said there was a musician. How are I guess like the creatives in your collective managing with this being far away from this
support? Only support, and right now it's material support in generally. Of course, it's emotional support too, but right now we try to material support artists. In the first movie, you see a guy in a white T-shirt. This is Vasya, who make this amazing pictures that we talk, and his music creation too. Exactly in the first two movies, a lot of his soundtracks. Then we have, for example, one teenager from a really deep, small town in east part of Ukraine, Kostya, and Kostya is amazing, talented beatboxer. We started to support him, not we, at first it was a personal Sasha initiative, he supported him before activity war, and now support too. Right now in Ukraine, in general, all support is material support because it's a totally different kind of life. People don't have the first necessary thing, even in good region like Lviv or other part of Western Ukraine. So, we try to buy some materials for artists too, if it's visual art. For one of our members, we rent space for work. Okay. Yeah, some kind like this. Mm-hmm.
So that they are able to kind of continue their processes wherever they are.
Yes. That if you can do it, please do it.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions from the audience? And maybe, I guess, lastly, I mean, it's on your website also, but can you, you mentioned the screenings, that there's going to be an exhibition. What are maybe some of the other activities here in Berlin that you are involved in, and how can, audiences here or audiences online, how can they assist you, practically speaking?
Freefilmers don't take really activity personally in different events, like only solidarity showing. And we ask everybody, if you can help, please help. We have two websites. One website, it's about our work, like Freefilmers.org, and other Help Freefilmers, exactly a website for helping. So we ask help, support Ukraine, and support Ukraine in any way that you feel comfortable. If you want to support army, please do it army. If you want support by Freefilmers, please do it by Freefilmers. If you want to support some kind of pet activity, please support special pet activity. Just support, we need it right now.
Yeah, because on your website, it also says there's one of the activities that you do, you don't only connect finances, but there's also like laptops that you collect, or really material, like Yeah.
Sometimes it's even a rent apartment for some people. For example, one of femme activists from Mariupol, she was really long time in Mariupol, and it was really hard way to survive, to save her. And she right now lives in Khmelnytsky. It's a western city, city in the west of Ukraine before Lviv, and she needs like regular life support because she cannot find job because in that region no any big industrial production, no right now economic it's like down of course, so she cannot find work. And right now we're working, we try to organize our financial report of supporting in a much more easy way because right now it's like huge document with huge bills, everything. It's like a regular person, it's hard to understand what happens.
And yes, I mean, we will provide, I mean, you can see the website in the back, and it will surely be on the website of, on the social media accounts of Apartment Project and Chromatic Wednesdays as well. So please go ahead and take a look at the different activities that the collective is doing, both in Berlin and globally. And, you know, as Iryna said, there's no little help. I mean, anyone, everyone, as long as we somehow get together and provide solidarity, the help grows, and it really impacts, you know, all the lives, really, in that sense. Are there any questions from the audience? I guess if there aren't any questions, we can close today's session. I'd like to thank the Chromatic Wednesdays team behind the behind the scenes, the Apartment Project for hosting us, and Iryna for being here. Send our best to everyone in the collective. Thank you for being here with us. To all our audiences online and to all of you for being here, and hopefully see you next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Ukraine.